Hello, and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. Today's video, we're going to be talking all about the pre-decimal penny Mintmarks, the history of them, and the rarity of them. So, let's get into it. We will be going in chronological order of these Mintmarks being put on the coins, so let's start right back at the start with the recoinage of 1860. Here we see a pre-1860 penny, featuring the design that was used on the coins of William IV, George IV, and Queen Victoria in the early days. Now then, like I said, the recoinage of 1860 changed things up. Here we see a 1 penny coin from 1860. This is the first year of the new type of coins. We still see Britannia holding the shield and trident. There is also now a lighthouse and a ship behind her. The date is at the bottom, and the words 1 penny can be read around the side. The coin is made of 95% copper now, rather than being full copper, and is smaller and lighter than the previous coins. But today we're talking about mint marks, so let's look by the date. As on all pre-decimal pennies, if there's going to be a mint mark, it's by the date. As you saw, there was no mint mark there. Here we see an 1874 penny. This is the first year a mint mark appeared on the coin. Here is the normal version, minted at the London Mint, with no mint mark. We now see a different type of penny from the same year, 1874, and if we look closely with zooming in, we can see the letter H under the date. Why is there an H here? Well, this H stands for Heaton, Heaton Metalworks in Birmingham. The Royal Mint outsourced production when they had reached capacity in this year. Heaton Metalworks in Birmingham was asked to produce pennies in 1874, and thus there is an H mint mark under the date of 1874 pennies, the ones that were made in Heaton, Birmingham. Unlike other mint marks we'll see coming up, the 1874 has the same value whether it has a mint mark or none, as there were equally amounts made in both mints. The same thing happened in 1875, with Heaton making some, and the Royal Mint in London making some others, and again they had equal mintages and equal values. And the same thing happened for the last time in a row in 1876, as we see the two types here with the H and without the H under the date, again equal values. The next time something like this would happen is in 1881. Now we see the London Mint or Royal Mint version with no mint mark, but there's also the version with the H mint mark underneath the date 1881. This time the H makes the coin about 3 times rarer, and therefore commands roughly 3 times the price for sale or purchase. If we now zoom in to an 1882 penny, we see the H mint mark. Now interestingly, 1882 pennies with the H mint mark don't command any extra premium. It's the 1882 penny without the mint mark you're looking for. Whilst the mint mark versions are incredibly common, the one without the mint mark is extremely rare, with only a handful of them known in the entire world. So, if you're lucky enough to find an 1882 penny with no mint mark under the date, then it can command a huge price. So without further ado, one without the mint mark is worth £35,000. Well, I bet you'll be checking your 1882 pennies now. We do have a full video on the topic if you would like. I'll pop the link in the description of this video. It would be a while until mint marks were once again on the pre-decimal pennies, the next year being 1912. That was the London Mint one without one, but now we see a new location for the mint mark. Once again the H mint mark, but now it is to the left of the date, under Britannia's shield. And going forward from now on, this is where all mint marks will be found, so keep your eyes peeled to the left of the date. Now the 1912 penny, without the H mint mark, has a mintage of 48,306,048, but the ones with the H mint mark have only 16.8 million made, meaning it is a rarer variant of the 1912 penny. And so accordingly, you can expect to pay 3 to 4 times more for the H mint mark. The next year with mint marks is 1918. Here we see the Royal Mint version with no mint mark, and here we see the 1918 H mint mark penny. But there's a new variant, a new mint mark. Now we see a 1918 KN mint mark. The KN stands for King's Norton Mint, and the Royal Mint had to really outsource in these years due to World War I and the metal shortages funding the war. So, let's have a look at the mintages for the 1818 penny. Now, with no mint mark, the mintage is 84,227,370. The H mint mark one has a mintage of 1,680,235, and the KN mint made 1,980,565. So, as we can see, these years are much rarer, and while a normal 1918 penny sells for only a few pounds, you can expect about £20 if you have a mint mark on one, as they're both rare variants. The next year for mint mark pennies is 1919, the year after. Here we see on screen the Royal Mint version with no mint mark, but after just coming out of the World War I, outsourcing needed to be done again. Firstly to the Heaton Mint, as we see here the H mint mark on the 1919 penny, and once again to the King's Norton Mint, where we see here a KN 1919 penny. So then, let's have a look at the mintages and values of these variants. So in 1919, 115,768,638 pennies were made at the Royal Mint featuring no mint mark. In Heaton Metalworks, 3,152,615 were made, and at Kings Norton Metalworks, 2,056,985 were made. Due to an incredibly high mintage, the 1919 no mint mark penny has only about a value of £1, but you can expect £15 to £20 for the ones with mint marks, a little more for the Kings Norton as it's rarer. We now fast forward to 1967, the last year pennies were made for circulation, as there are no more mint marked pennies to look out for. That is all the years mint marks were on the pennies. Before you go, there are 3 things to do. Firstly, check your pennies for mint marks, as there could be some extra value. 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we truly appreciate it. And 3, have a very Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching, and goodbye from Bits and Bobs.